So we're just coming back here. Hello guys, from the University of East Anglia. So, a bit of backstory. I graduated from here in 2024. I was a student here for 4 years, having done a foundation year and the BA with honours in creative writing and English literature. A foundation year, for those of you who don't know what one is, it's for those students who want to go onto a full-time degree or a part-time degree but don't have the qualifications to do so. So you've got English and maths, but you didn't quite get your A levels. You can do a foundation degree, and then subject to passing that, you can go on to the actual BA itself. Now, I've come back here today to give you a little tour of campus. I used to be a student ambassador here for about 3 years. Really enjoyed it. Campus tours was something that I did. I haven't done one of this length before because we had a specific time that we had to keep it to. But I want to give you an extensive tour of the whole of campus, excluding the UEA village, which is student residences off campus, not that far away from the central campus itself. So where I've just come off, that is the bus stop for the 26 and 26A if you are coming from the city centre. The 25, the 26 and 26A all go into the centre of campus, but if you live in these buildings behind me, and we will go in there, not in the building but into the complex a bit, these are the Hicklin and Barton residencies, and that is your local bus stop. So I actually lived here in my foundation year, hence why I found that out. And I'll also point out another bus stop for the 25 as well later on. So since I'm down here, I will start with Hicklin and Barton. Just a heads up, you might see people in pink. These are student ambassadors. I believe that there is a applicant day here at the university today. And an applicant day is for offer holders who are looking at starting the university in September, but still want to give themselves another opportunity to explore campus. So let's have a little look at Hicklin and Barton. So this is Hicklin and Barton. Hicklin's on the left, Barton's on the right, and in the middle you've got a laundrette. For each building you've got 3 entrances. You've got west, central and east. And depending on which flat you're in, that'll determine what entrance you use. I was in Hicklin 9F. I still can't believe that I remember that. And Central was my main entrance. And you might see some of these rooms have sticky out bits. That is pretty much luck of the draw. I was lucky enough to actually have one of those rooms. It just gives you that little bit of extra space. So that is your laundrette. You do have to pay to utilise the machines. I can't remember how much I paid, but you have to buy a card. It's Circuit Laundry. Now, if you look at coming here, you will realise how bad Circuit Laundry actually are. I'm not going to hold anything back. I will give you an honest opinion of the whole campus. And I've just literally walked past it, but that is your bins. Well, your glass bottle bins. You do have bins in the kitchen which are emptied daily. And you do have a weekly fire alarm test. So if you're one of those students that like to go out and party, you will end up getting woken up by that. I wasn't one of those students. I was normally out at the crack of dawn, going to the library and doing some work. So I don't know how I'm going to do this. Because the whole campus goes round in a circle. So you've got a little path here which goes down to University Drive. You will see that path later on, so bear that in mind. But I'm going to come up here. And I apologise for the sun. At least it's dry because I've just come back from the Netherlands and it was raining the entire time that I was there. If you haven't seen those videos, check them out on the channel. So this is the INTO building. I don't know much about INTO. That's the only building that I don't know anything about. I do know, however, that INTO have got a partnership with universities in the UK. I know it's got something to do with international students. That's all I know, that's all I can tell you, unfortunately. Down here, we've got the nursery, laundrette. There's plenty of laundrettes kicking around, so you won't struggle for laundry facilities. And last but by no means least, you've got pharmacy, finally. It was Boots, but Boots ends up closing, and the student union ends up fighting for a pharmacy facility. And then you've got the University Medical Centre. These guys will get you to sign up if you start here. It's ideal for students living on campus. However, if you decide to live elsewhere in Norwich in the subsequent years, then you might find it easier to move practices. In hindsight, I should have done that. It's also worth noting that with accommodation, you are guaranteed on-campus accommodation your first year, but you are not guaranteed accommodation after your first year. So first year includes foundation year. So if you're on a foundation year degree, you'll have the option of on-campus accommodation for your foundation year, but not for your first, second and third, if that makes sense. First year students are given priority, and then after that it's just a case of whatever's left goes on a case-by-case basis. I think if I remember rightly, that's how it works. But I felt with the university accommodation department because of my messy flatmates. You do get terms and conditions to read. I suggest you read them, but it does end up being a one-page document that you end up signing. Terms and conditions are a lot longer than that. So I just want to point out this lovely roundabout that says University of East Anglia on it. I did have a map lined up of what I'm going to do and when, but I left it in my hotel room. Oh well. So that's where your buses come in from the city centre. Then they come in down here. This is University Drive, by the way. The main car park. I often get asked about parking on campus. So parking on campus is pretty limited. Students are advised to use the costly parking ride, because if I remember rightly, you're not allowed to park on campus unless you get some sort of permit from the lodge, which we will get to. Of course, all the information that I'm giving you is correct at the time of me being a student. If you want any up-to-date information, then please consult the university website. So that is your bus stop from coming in from the city centre. That is if you missed the other two. And down there behind all them trees is the main path into the centre of campus, but I will show you that later on. Somewhere that I want to go first before I forget. It's a bit of a trek, that's why I want to do it now and get it out the way with. Ahead of me is the main bus stop. I would advise not using this one unless you really have to. It does get busy. It will get busy today with it being an applicant day. But the queues are long, and if you want a 25 or a 26 in particular, because you live down those roads, then you will end up missing it. I lived in the city centre, so luckily I could just get whatever bus turned up. And if you want to save on your bus fare, you can get an annual season ticket. You also get termly season tickets as well. But do your budgeting on this one, because you might find it cheaper just to buy on the go. Depends on how many times you go into the city centre. They do have a night bus, I'm pleased to say, because when I was here, they didn't have a night bus. That was reinstated, but whether they turn up is a different matter. You also get campus maps, so if you get lost, you can find your way around. I forgot to say that the car park is a pay on foot car park. If you are looking to get into it. There's also construction work going on. That's been going on for a long while now. So it used to be the old arts building, but apparently they turned it into something related to science. What's that? I don't know. Security are pretty good as well round here, so if you need them, phone them and they will be round within no time. And also, if you see a cute cat kicking around here, that is Sylvester. He is not a stray. He likes coming here to roam, and he lives close to the village. His owners do come and get him. I saw him for the first time, I thought he was a stray, so I'm going to point that out to you. I'm hoping that we see him. I was wanting to see him on my graduation day, but the little bugger didn't turn up. But he is well and truly famous. Or at least he is for university students. Also, if you get lost, there's plenty of signage. So, a little bit about the university. Yes, you will see that it is predominantly concrete, but it is set in the middle of Erland Park. It's open to general public, you do get a lot of dog walkers around here, hence why I'm back. Obviously, if you're not a student, you don't have access to any of the buildings because you need a campus card to get in. So this building is the sports park. That's where the university graduations happen. And you also get some lectures and seminars in there. It also has an Olympic-sized swimming pool. Now, I didn't spend a lot of time in the sports park, so I don't know much about it, but if you do come on an open day, you can get tours of different places. You can get tours of accommodation, you can get tours of the sports park, central campus, the library. I'm not going to give you a tour of the library, even though I did spend the majority of my life in there. But I will tell you a bit about it when we get to it. The fact that I still know my way around this place is amazing. I'm not going to film this big long massive stretch of road, so I'll see you when I get to another building. The 26 and the 26A come down here. 26 go up to the hospital, and the 26A continues to Bowthorpe. There's also pedestrian access to the hospital, which I will show you where that is for those medical students who might end up having placement there. So this building coming up is the Enterprise Centre. I spent a lot of time in there. It is one of the newest buildings on campus, and it is the greenest building on campus. A lot of people call it Teaching Enterprise Centre, but it's actually called the Enterprise Centre. And all of these buildings have acronyms. You will get used to it. There's also a car park for the sports park. I forgot to mention that the sports park does offer a membership to students. And again, all of that information can be found on the university website. So around the back here, we've got Earlham Hall. I was only in Earlham Hall for, I think it was my third year, but I barely came down here. I'm going to be absolutely knackered by the time I finish this campus tour. So yeah, if you go to see Sylvester, chances are you'll probably see him around here. If you've got a seminar in Earlham Hall, just allow yourself extra time to get down here. So Earlham Hall is the home of the law school. It's also a home of the law clinic, where you can get free legal advice. There is another entrance, but I don't know where it is. But just look at that lovely building. I actually miss being down here. Now, I was going to say that I've got a favourite building on campus. I won't be able to tell you which one it is. But So I nearly forgot about this. But this is a little garden. It's called the Dutch Garden. It's somewhere to go and relax. I barely came down here, mainly because I didn't know about it, but there are a few seats. It's worth checking out. There's also a bus stop up here for people coming in from the hospital and both off. So this road here goes up to the car park for Erlen Park. So if I go down here, it's literally 62 feet when you go down this path or the main road. But I like coming down here for some reason. And coming out the gates, we'll get to a crossing. Yes, sir. So crossing off the road, if you turn left, you will come to the shield blocks. This is the village, which I told you about. Like I say, I'm not going to go in because I don't know it. But if you are outside the village, you will be over here. The village is the cheapest on-campus accommodation. There is en-suite. We have two different types. We've got en-suite and standard. Standard is a shared bathroom job. So if you don't like the idea of showing your bathroom, get en-suite. And it's also worth noting that down the bottom of this road, I'm not going to go down. But the bottom of this road there is Tesco Express. And Tesco Express can also be reached by Hickory and Barton. So I'll put a link in the description box below for the accommodation website. Then you can have a little look for yourself at the prices of the accommodation. They have changed since I was last here. They go up on a year basis. And you have the option of paying in termly instalments, which is what I did to make it easier, or I think it might have been either monthly or weekly. I can't remember the other option, but there was another option to go with it as well. The accommodation page will spell it all out for you. I will show you the accommodation types as well. And there's nothing much to see up here because I'm heading back into Central Campus. But I'll see you when we get there. So you've got Sports Park on the left, which means that we're pretty much back into Central Campus. But I'll start the video back up here again because remember that path that I said about? When we're near Hickory and Barton. Well, I'd like to point out where that comes out at. So just down here, and to the left, pretty much where that gap is there. I will zoom in on it. But that gap there, that's the path to Hickory and Barton. A bit more of Vernon Park there. And you've got the lodge, which is home to security and parking inquiries and stuff like that. Apologies for the noise from the construction site. But when it reopens, wherever that is, that's the path leading to Central Campus. There is another one down there which we will have to take once I've finished with this road. So it depends on which degree you're doing. This one is probably one of the roads that you're going to be going down a lot. It's home to the majority of the teaching buildings. And I will point them all out to you. There's also another path up there via some steps to central campus, but I'm going to cross over it. One thing I haven't mentioned are these orangey markers. This is an accessible route, so wheelchair users or people with limited mobility, you can follow these arrows and they will lead you to where you need to go. It's also located on the map as well. Entrance down there that I'll cover at some point in this video. So first up on this road, by the way, is Chancellor's Drive. So this building here is the Tyndall Centre for Climate Change Research, also known as the Hubbard Land Building. Some of these buildings I've never even been in, so just bear with me. I won't be able to tell you what school they belong to, because you just get plonked in any old building. The next one is the Zuckerman Institute for Collective Environmental Research, also known as ZISA. Again, maps. Got another bus stop down here for the 25, which comes up here. So if you finish at the business school, which is that building down there on the right hand side, and you can't be bothered to walk up to the top, got that one instead. So this building here is the Lawrence Steinhouse building. I don't know how you pronounce that. That's the business school. A bit closer up. Around the back of this opening, you've got the Queen's Building. It also takes you around to the back of Lawrence Stenhouse. These buildings around here are an absolute maze, so if you're a first year, give yourself a chance to adjust to it all. You do get something called Welcome Week, so utilise that week before you start your studies to go around everywhere and familiarise yourself. Lecturers won't expect every first year to know where they're going to start with, but it's always good to show up on time and always get there early as well. So this building is the Elizabeth Fry building, and over the road there is the medical school. There you go. You can actually see that down there is a 25 in. That is where it terminates. It comes down here, drops everyone off somewhere down here, turns around and parks up there for a bit. This building here is Constable Terrace. So Constable Terrace is in the same group of student residences as Nelson Court. It's ensuite, relatively affordable, and like I said earlier on, prices are on the accommodation website. Also down here, apparently, according to the sign, I'm going to have to try and find this building because I don't know where it is. So bear with me. It's obviously not down here. We will get back to that main road once I've found this other building. It's called Productivity East. I've already been there once. So while I'm down here, this is the Sainsbury's Centre. Students get free membership to the Sainsbury's Centre. You do have seminars in there as well. And I think it's also open to the general public. Yeah, the building that I'm looking for is actually down here, apparently. If I remember rightly, it's like tucked away in the little corner. Ah, yay, I found it. So this is Productivity East Biomedical Research Centre. Found it eventually. And I can also go back up here to rejoin Chancellor's Drive. That's the only building on campus that I don't actually know where it is. So that's the Queen's building, a bit closer up since I've had to come down here. Well, it's the house on the right. And there are also bike storage areas, I would see bringing your bike onto campus. The sports park do a bit of an incentive called UEA Moves, which is an app that you download and you link it up to your watch, and you can join challenges to gain rewards for running, cycling, swimming and walking, believe it or not. Rewards include free coffee, treats, clothes and other goodies as well. And the applicant day started. Fair to say that I've taken their job as campus tour guide. So I feel like we're going around in a bit of a circle at the moment. So like I say, Constable Terrace, behind them trees. And this building on the right the way down at the end there, that is USI. Why do they call it USI? Well, the university has a science building. I think this one came afterwards, therefore they couldn't think of what to call it and decided to call it USI. How creative. But there's also one building that I forgot about, mainly because you can't see the entrance from Chancellor's Drive. I don't know how I can forget this because it's where I spent the majority of my time doing coursework. This one here is the Junior Study Centre. And right the way down to the bottom. I'm not going to go all the way to the bottom, but I don't know if you can see it. Hang on, let me zoom in. There we go. Where that roundabout sign is, that leads to a playing field, and through the playing field eventually gets you to the hospital. That said, I'm heading back into Central Campus. And I'll see you when we get there. There's another entrance to Productivity East. So this is that path that I said to you about earlier. And if you've got any issues with the internet, especially connecting to the internet because it's a pain in the bum to start with, you can go to the IT service and I'll show you that because I honestly thought the entrance was down here. I'll show you that eventually. But this is Norfolk Terrace, also known as one half of UEA's famous cigarettes. Now, if this one's called Norfolk Terrace, I'll let you guess what the other one's called. Well, if you've guessed Suffolk Terrace, that's that one there. And you're right, well done, but you're not getting any prizes off me. Sorry for that. But this is also Erlen Park, home to dog walkers, and in the distance there, you can't see it, but in the distance is the lake, also known as the Broad, and where most students like to go. But I'm not going there because it's been raining here over the past few days and the grass is very muddy, so I don't fancy getting kicked up in mud, and therefore I'm not going to go. If it was dry, I would have done. Yes, there is plenty of walkways. And I'm actually going to go up here, up these steps, because I've already done this side of campus. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I've forgotten the map that maps out everywhere that I was going to go and what order I was going to do it in, just so I didn't be taken. So I'm going to do this section first and then I don't end up going back on myself. I'll go down here, I'll start from the bottom, work my way across. But this is known as the teaching wall. It's the only wall that goes across campus. And just for you guys, I'm going to go that way to the bottom, where there'll be an entrance to the Sainsbury's Centre. Now, if you're like me and you're unlucky enough to get a seminar in biology, That's the biology building, not biology isn't the subject. You unlucky guys. I've got this long walk to do. I feel sorry for you because we had to do it in third year. And my seminar leader hated the room so much because of the lack of aircon. And she moved us week by week into different rooms, which seminar leaders are allowed to do. There's also access down here to Productivity East if you're coming from the wall, and Constable Terrace. But the Sainsbury Centre is that walkway there, which I don't know if you can see because of the sun. Then coming around, you've got biology. Will I have enough background to film this stretch? Probably. Let's chance it. But yes, you've got biology here. Sciences as a building is very confusing. It took me a little while to work out what's where. But you'll get there eventually. So this building here is one of the sciences. It's also the wall access to Lawrence House. So if you're coming from the wall and you need to get to Lawrence House, just cut through that building there. Just down here we've got the other sciences entrance. And it does say on the door what rooms the entrance leads to. You can't quite see it, but it's on that signage there. It's also home to admissions, recruitment and marketing, which is the hub for student ambassador work, which is perfect part-time work on a 0-hour contract to fit around your studies. When the students get work around the city, so you can even get a little part-time job at the Tesco Express that I said about if you really wanted to. But a 0-hour contract job is brilliant for time management because you don't have to work if you don't want to. So this is environmental sciences. Can't quite see the signage there, but that's the entrance to that building. Bit more grass. That's Norfolk Terrace that I showed you earlier. So basically all we're doing now is going back on ourselves. Now I'm not going over to Suffolk Terrace, and I'll tell you from why. A few years ago, the cigarettes were subject to RAAC issues, which is basically asbestos, I think, and they had to be closed. So students who were supposed to be going into those residences got moved into the city, and they haven't reopened. But because they are a grade 2 listed building, they can't do anything with them, so they can't demolish them. They just have to stand there empty, but they are part of UEA. So whenever you see UEA marketing, chances are it's probably got the cigarettes on it. So that's why I'm not going on to Southwark, because there's no point. Then we've got the Meadow building, which is home to the IT department. Also, if you've got any issues with the campus card, because it's playing silly buggers on you, then head into that building there. So I'll sort it out for you. Then we've got 2 entrances here, one for chemistry on the left and pharmacy on the right. And there's a lift there to go down the bottom if needed. So this is pretty much Central Campus, or nearing Central Campus. But what I want to show you, if it's open, if it'll let you get through. Brilliant. Apologies for the noise. But that is the entrance to the Chancellor's Drive area via the steps. So we then move on to Central Campus. And I'll go down here first, because there's literally nothing to see down there. This is where I spent 95% of my time on campus. I know it all too well. So this building on the right is the main lecture theatre building. You've got 4 lecture theatres in here, across 3 floors. You've also got the library, which is open 24/7, also known as my second home on campus. These guys hate me. I know you don't, UEA library, I know you love me really. If the library happens to be closed for whatever reason, or you don't fancy going inside, you can just drop your books off there in the book return. But across 5 floors, you've got plenty of books and plenty of study space. This building in front of us, that is the student union. It's a walk through, so you can walk straight through and it'll take you to the main road leading up to the main bus stop. Got some nice picnic benches here. And I've never known what the UEA building is for. So the UEA building is this building here. I've never known what it's used for. I think it might be counselling, if they've reinstated in-person counselling, because student services are all accessible via email. And when I was here, everything was done online, because it was still going back to post-COVID times. Now, this building here is the campus kitchen over 3 floors. So you've got this at the bottom, which I'll take you down in a minute. We've got Blend, which is on this level. And upstairs you've got Vista. Now Vista is only available for postgraduate students. So if you're a postgrad, you've got access to all 3 floors, but if you're an undergraduate, sorry, but you don't have access to Vista. Going down the stairs here. This takes me into my favourite part of campus. And it still is my favourite part of campus. This is known as the square. I know it doesn't look like a square, but it's known as the square. And it's where most of the students meet and socialise. This building here is the Faith Centre. It used to be called the Multi-Faith Centre, but I don't know why they changed it, because in my opinion it's still the same thing. Now this centrepiece here, it's more glamorous in the summer because this is actually a little fountain. I know it's hard to believe, but yes, it's actually a little fountain. Kids love it. We've also got the bar. Now the bar has 2 sides to it. You've got the red bar and the blue bar. This is red bar. The only difference is the painting on the walls. So one's painted in red and the other one is painted in, believe it or not, blue. This bit here is known as the street. So you've got post room. So if you are living on campus, all of your posts will come to this room and they will contact you if you've got mail. You've got a lift going up to the student union. You've got the student information zone, which is where you go if you've got any timetable issues or anything like that. Down here is an entrance to lecture theatres 3 and 4. Handy thing to know. Go downstairs here. Oh, I forgot about that building. So you've actually got the television studio here, which is for the media guys. And then cut across the road is lecture theatres 3 and 4. You need to renew your passport. You've got a machine there for photos. We've also got the Warren, which is somewhere else that you can go and do your coursework. We've got Ziggy's, which is a little cafe. Then we've got the shop. It also sells UEA merch. There's also a post office in there as well. And down here, you've got another laundrette for all of the residences that I'm going to end up showing you. You've got the media and music building, or music and media building rather, down there. And take you up here. One thing that I completely forgot to say, I can't believe I forgot about this. In the library, you've got Careers Central. Now, sorry Careers Central, I completely forgot about you. Careers Central is perfect for your career work. And they also do a little reward scheme. Well, I call it a reward scheme. It's very rewarding to do, called the UEA Award. The UEA Award is a tiered award system. You've got bronze, silver and gold. And it's been years since I've done it. I completed it to gold in the foundation year, and I was the first student to do so. So it's nice to hold a record. And obviously, as a result of that, it's been years since I've done it, and I've sort of forgotten what it is. Going back to the campus tour, you've got the entrance to Blue Bar, just there. You've got the drama studio up here. Being this building here. We've also got the on-campus nightclub, the LCR. I think they're gearing up for tonight's club night. So you've got that out on campus, you've got those guys.
Yeah, no, that was good.
There you go, LCR. Want to come up here quickly just to show you where that entrance comes out of the Student Union. So Student Union, also known as SU. It's that entrance there. Up there is the main bus stop. I'll come back to the Student Union in a second. But you've got the main bus stop up here, as well as another building called Congregation Hall. I'm not going to go too far up because they might think that I'm part of the applicant day, but that's where you get some seminars in there as well. It also leads to University Drive. So going back to the Student Union, it's home to UNIO, which is a cafe, and you've also got the academic representation scheme there as well. So if you want to become a course rep or a skill convener or a faculty convener, all of which are rewarded positions because I've done a lot. You can find information out on the Student Union website. And as you can probably tell, I was very active with this university. Got my hands stuck in pretty much anything and everything. And I recommend that you do the same as well. Student Union is also home to, now then, is it 180, over 180 clubs and societies? So if you can't find anything that takes your fancy, you can start your own club or society. And that includes sports clubs as well. So this is Nelson Court. We've also got access down there to the main bus stop. At the end of Nelson Court, there is a hotel, a room-only hotel, I should mention, because they don't do breakfast. Looks like they're closed at the moment. Oh no, they're not. But this is Broadview Lodge. Or, as it's now called, Broadview Hotel. The reason why it's called Broadview Hotel is because of the broad. But coming over here, this is all still Nelson Court. Home of the wonderful. That's UEA's slogan, by the way. So, located in Nelson Court is the accommodation office. If you've got any accommodation queries, or if you're locked out of your residency, then come and see those guys. That includes students living in the village. And if we continue through here, you'll get to occupational health. Which is that building there. That entrance, I should say. And then we'll need to a load of concrete. Now, these residencies, I can never remember the names of. But we've got Paston House, Burton House, Coleman House, Victory House, and something's telling me I'm missing one. If you want your hair cutting, then you can go to Airstream. And there's also an entrance there for the main bus stop. Now, up here, you've got another residence. If you remember Hickley and Barton that I mentioned being the top class accommodation and the most expensive, there's also a third one. So this one is more central, and unfortunately you can't pick and choose which one you want. So if you go for Hickley and Barton and Crumb, which is this building in front of me, you will get allocated one. So this is Crumb Court. It also has a drama room in it for the drama students. And down here, we've got some not as fancy student accommodation. Allwell Close rings a bell, and it's also called something else as well, but I can't remember what. I'll find out in a second. So this is Allwell Close, and this one round here is Wolfson Close. Now these are standard accommodation, so basically you have to share a bathroom. They are the cheapest accommodation going, and they're also the dullest accommodation going. But that's only my opinion, so if you want to have a little look at all of the accommodation options, you can make your own opinion. Now, somewhere around here, I think I'm getting close to it. It's been a long time since I've been through this entrance. You will find gate. Nope, it's not that one. A bit further round, I think. I know, I'm right. So this gate, again, hidden gems that no one tells you about. This gate leads to Bluebell Road, so you can pick the 25 up from that bus stop there. That's to go into the city centre. But if you're coming into campus, somewhere around here, oh, just there, there is another bus stop coming into campus. So if you get the 25 from the city centre, you can do what that bus is doing and get off there. But be warned, sometimes you press the button and they don't always stop. And I think that is pretty much it. So, I'll get out of the sun. Thanks very much for coming along with me on this campus tour. If I've left anything out, I'll find out about it when I look at a map and I'll put it at the end of this video. Travel Thursdays resumes next week. And until then, I will see you on the next one. Bye for now. The top of this square. And yes, there's one place that I did forget to take you. And that is up here. This building will probably only apply to those who are doing arts and humanities degrees. But I felt it unfair to leave it off. So if you go up some steps here, on the corner, so it's this lovely tower. And yes, the university does recognise LGBT History Month, as well as other celebrations, if you want to call it that. So this is the council house. Also there's the council chamber. And you've also got the Arts and Humanities building, which is predominantly offices. But, like I said, these buildings are probably only going to be for the Arts and Humanities degrees. And I think that's pretty much it.